On today's show, we're talking about the Westcott Flex LED light, this incredible, bright, awesome, and very, very flexible light. Ew. Good morning and welcome to PhotoJoseph's Photo Moment, the first live 3 times a week show right here at youtube.com/PhotoJoseph, all about photography and video and live streaming things related every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9:30 a.m. Pacific. Did I say that part already? PhotoJoseph, no, youtube.com/PhotoJoseph. I know where I'm at. Hopefully you do too, since you're kind of already here. Hey, this is a live show. This is live, so when I make a mistake, you guys all get to enjoy it. This being a live show means that you get to participate in the live comments, in the chit chat. If you are in the chat room, you can say hello over there, and at the end of the show, we will do a Q&A. If you have any questions about this or really anything else you want to talk about, make sure you put @PhotoJoseph in front of your question so that I can see it on the screen. I know it's from me, and I'll bring it up, and we'll do a little Q&A at the end. But first, let's talk about this thing here. So you may have noticed that this is the only light illuminating me right now. This is the Westcott 1x2 foot LED Flex light. And this thing is awesome. And this thing is bright. So those of you who've seen the show before, you know that I've got quite a few lights in here. There's a bank of 3 lights. Well, it's actually 2 now because one of them died. Anyway, bank of 3 lights up here. There's 2 more lights shining on the background. There's 2 more lights over there that are backlighting. Got another light up top. I got a lot of light in here. And I chose to start the show today with just this light. Everything else is off. Just this one light that is set to a whoppingly high value of just 10% illumination. That is all we're cranking out of this right now is 10%. This thing puts out a lot of light. In fact, I'm going to show you just how much light it does put out by making a couple changes here, cranking it up to 100% and putting another camera on it. Now, before I turn on all the lights and show you everything about this thing, I want to do this little how much light there is demo. And to do that, obviously, I have to have all the lights off. So I'm going to start by taking off the diffuser. So it's got this nice little diffusion panel, so let's get rid of that because I want to squeeze out every last drop of light. And I'm going to turn this towards the back here, and I'm going to crank this up to 100%. Try not to go blind doing it. And then I'm going to switch to the other camera. So this camera is the studio camera. It is set the way that it's always set. It is a +6 dB gain. It is this is the Blackmagic Studio camera. It's at a 50th of a second shutter, so basically 180-degree shutter, and it is currently at f2.8, so wide open. So I kind of set that at its brightest point, set the light at its brightest point, and I can get 8 feet away. So I am 8 feet from the subject, from the light source right now, and we should be at perfect light value right now if I did everything right and I'm standing in the exact right spot. So that is a lot of light from that one little source. So pretty impressive. I'm impressed. I don't know about you, but I think that is awesome. Okay, now let me turn this back down so I can actually see things, and let's turn the house lights back on. Let's get all these lights on. There we go. So there's what we normally do. I'm going to turn off that LED for now. So that's our normal lighting situation. So let's take a look at this thing. It's kind of cool. So this, by the way, we are currently holding this up on the Platypod Max. The guys over at Platypod sent this over to me so I can show this to you. So we'll do a show about that later. I did a show on the Platypod Ultra a while ago, the baby brother to this thing. This Max one is pretty awesome. You get this post as part of an accessory kit, and that's what I'm using to hold this up right now. So kudos to that. The show that we did on the Platypod Ultra we'll link to up here in case you haven't seen that. But here I want to talk about this box right here, this whole kit. So this is the Flex LED light. It comes with, as a kit, everything you see here, which includes this frame. It's a 1x2 frame, Jim Scrim type frame. It comes with this mounting bracket on here. It's a 2 pivot point brackets. You can put this onto a light stand or onto your Platypod or whatever you want. Position that wherever you like on there. And it comes with, of course, the power supply, the dimmer, and a diffusion panel. So you get everything that you need in there. This light doesn't come cheap. I'm going to tell you that right now. This is not a cheap light, but it is worth every stinking penny. So let me just pull this thing up first. This is the Westcott Flex Daylight LED Matte Cine set. So this is the one we're looking at right now. This is the 1x2 foot size. It comes in at $1,200, and that is for the entire kit. You can buy just the light itself without the kit, so just the LED panel and the power supply, obviously, and that's $9.99. So for another $200, you get the kit. And if you're planning on putting it on a light stand, then this is definitely the way to go. But you're going to find, as I talk about this a little bit more, that a light stand is not necessarily where it needs to go. And frankly, if you're just putting it on a light stand, you're not really taking advantage of what it can do. But the frame can definitely still be useful. Anyway, so just a quick little bit on the specs on here. So the 1x2 foot light, this does have a 95 CRI. I think maybe it's listed down here. They're a CRI rating of 95, so it is very high quality. This one is the 5600 degree Kelvin daylight balanced. You can get this in a bicolor version as well. For my money, I never recommend buying the bicolor because, I mean, I guess it depends on what you're doing. Obviously, there's times where you really want to be able to tweak that in, but when you have a bicolor light, then its maximum brightness is going to be somewhere between the two colors, between the tungsten and the daylight. I frankly would rather get the daylight balance at full brightness and then just put gels on top of it. Not as convenient, but you get a lot more bang for your buck. So I'm pretty much always going to recommend the daylight balanced light. Anyway, so that's what this is. This is the daylight balanced one. And this one, oh, there's also available in different sizes. So there is a 1x1 foot size, a smaller one. So that's 800 as a kit, a 1x3, 1x2, and then the biggest is a full 2x2 foot. So that one's, of course, coming in at a higher price, $2,200, but that one is, well, twice the size of this being the 1x2. So you're seeing it in the frame with the mounting holder, whatever you call it on there. But the main thing, the big money, is, of course, the light itself. So let's get this thing off of here, and let's see what this fun little thing can do. I'm trying to get rid of all this stuff before I drop anything. Get rid of that. Let's get rid of this. And get rid of that. It's Velcro. Velcro on both sides, by the way. Velcro on both sides of this thing, so you can mount it up in any number of ways. And let's get bending. So this is what's so cool about this. You can bend it, and look at how thin it is. It's super thin. You think, okay, thin, bendable LED light. Why would I possibly need a thin, bendable LED light? Well, let me tell you. So the coolest thing about it being so thin is that you can mount it anywhere. Imagine tight, confined spaces and needing to mount a light somewhere like the interior of a car. Let's say you're doing a shot and you have people in the car, you want to put some light in the car. Where in the world are you going to put the light? You could literally attach this to the ceiling, to the ceiling of the car. If you're in a like a bus or a van or something, you could attach it to the wall. If you wanted to shoot a closet scene, someone opens the closet and there's light inside, you could mount this on the wall of the closet. There are so many places you can put this because it's so thin, it's so light. If you could attach Velcro to the wall to attach it that way, or just gaff tape it on because it does weigh very, very little, so you could easily gaff this onto a wall. Very, very handy that way. So the thinness of it and the lightweightness of it makes it super flexible. Sorry, I know, flexible, but it's a super flexible product for a light, for lighting just about any tight situation. The trunk of a car, open the car, you want some light inside of there. Underneath something, you want to illuminate under. I don't know why I'm stuck on cars today, but you want to illuminate the underside of a car. You could put this underneath the car. Lots of different options, right? Really neat. And the fact that it's flexible is quite cool. You know, I mean, you can kind of twist it a bit as well. You can actually, I'm not quite sure how useful it would be, but you could wrap it over this way and have the lights on the inside, so you could like set up a thing where you're shooting down into it, shooting kind of macro photography, and you have a super all-around illuminated scene. That could be kind of cool. But one of the really neat things is if you roll it outside of itself like this, and it basically becomes a China ball. So at this point, or you could put it inside of a China ball too, but at this point, you've got a really nice all-around light source. So I'm going to clamp this to a C-stand here. Now, if you're going to clamp it, you do want to be careful. You don't want to let the clamps clamp onto the LED lights or onto, even on the panel itself, because obviously there's wiring inside of this. But the outside area where the Velcro is, that's fair game. That's safe on there. So I'm going to use this clamp to just clamp it on there and just be careful to make sure I'm only grabbing onto that area where I know it's safe, and turn that thing on, and now you've got a, oops, I turned it off. There we go. And now you've got a nice China ball light situation. So if you're doing an interview, you want to have this above and between two people to illuminate them evenly. You're going to get that even illumination all around. So just overall, really quite a cool setup. I'm digging this light. High quality product, lifetime warranty, according to the website, limited lifetime warranty, but you know, they got to put that in there. It's good quality. As Ryan has said to me before, buy once, cry once, right? It's this idea that you can certainly buy cheaper lights, but you end up regretting it in the long term. Like, look at the LED lights that I have in here. I said in the beginning, I've got lights all over the place here, right? For those of you who've been watching the show for a while, you might know that I have a bank of 3 big LED panels in front of me. Well, these were cheap lights. You know, when I first bought these things, I didn't have any money. I bought the cheapest thing I could get. One of the 3 was a different color than the other 2, and one of the 3 has one of the 3 power supply died a while ago. I had to replace that. And then most recently, one of the 3 has completely died. It's just done. So I got to replace that. I have these Genere LED lights, these round ones that I've got all over here, which I quite like. I think they're not as cheap as these. They're kind of a mid-value price, pretty good lights. But one of those has started to die. I've got a whole chunk of the LED light panel in there that is flickering on and off occasionally. So if you've ever watching the show and you've seen the background suddenly get ever so slightly dimmer, it's because one of these lights is just dying on me. So, you know, buy good quality. It's going to last you a long time. And we know that Westcott makes a quality product. So there you go. That, my friends, is today's show. Before you tune out, though, I just want to remind you of a couple of things. First of all, we're going to India. If you have not yet thought about this, you really should. There's a few seats left. We are going to India January 30th to February 9th of 2019. PhotoJoseph.com/India. It is a photography workshop / photography tour. We're going to see and experience some incredible, incredible things out there. If you are shooting with a GH5, which you likely are if you're watching this show and considering a light like this, then make sure you pick up my training. If you haven't educated yourself on all the fine aspects of the GH5, hit up gh5training.com. That is a great way to learn everything that camera can do. It's a pretty impressive camera and pretty impressive training kit. All right, folks, that's everything I wanted to tell you today. Let's roll over to the Q&A, see if you got any questions that I can answer, or if not, I'll just make something up, and I'll see you over there in just a minute.